And we are back with the... I'm going to have to look here. It's 9, so that is the 4th game of the evening. The 4th game of the evening between HiK and the... I want to say the, but they just put it forward as basic bitches, so I'm just going to say basic bitches here. Kindred banned out first, and then Fizz banned out, obviously targeting Pigs with Bullets, who has got quite a lot of Fizz games under his belt. Yeah, that's technically how it tends to go. Just got a message telling me about how Burnley Black his best champion got banned out. But yeah, that's kind of how it works, and that's, I think, is also the fun of it, because it means you're being respected as a player in that sense, and you're gonna have to find a way to play at least more than 3 champions, in the sense that all your champions might get banned out. So let's see. Let's see. Fiora Graves obviously banned out. As being, I guess, just being as being a strong champion. Same goes for Kench and Malphite actually also. Fiora actually also. There's almost all, I think, all around bans, except of course for Fizz. It's going to be interesting to see what Gonraw is going to be picking first. Is he going to go for one of those OP picks? Is he going to go for, I don't know, something like Corki, very strong right now. Lissandra, actually also very strong right now. You might hear a small... There you do. Nunu hovered over. Now, I am going to presume that is a Disco Nunu hover and not an actual... champion they want to pick. Could be, of course, but yeah, interesting one to pick first. It is going to be Poppy, and Poppy is, of course, very strong in the current meta. I'm going to be honest, don't really know what to think about the entire Poppy rework. I think I was more of a fan of the old Poppy. Of course, was completely not viable, completely unviable, but the new Poppy feels a bit obnoxious. Just the chain CC you can throw with yourself, and then it's just, I don't know. It's just, and the random ranged auto attack. It's not my type of champion. Anyway, Poppy picked up first pick, and Cheve does go for the Ezreal, and Magic goes for the Rek'Sai. Now Rek'Sai, of course, just a very good pick in team games. And let us see. Now, Frost Eyes and Shamrock are going to be in charge of at least, I want to say at least one carry pick, but that's not even true. That is not even true. They can still pick. Yeah, we don't even know where Poppy is going, actually. Poppy could very well still be going top lane, and it does seem like they're going for Lucian. Very strong ADC currently. Personally, I think my favorite ADC in this meta. Yeah, and the question is, what is Frost Eyes going to be picking? It's going to go for the Braum. If it goes for the Braum, then we do know that Poppy is most likely top. I don't really know how Poppy does in the jungle, but it's probably going to be Poppy top lane, and then Alistar as supports together with that Lucian. And now we are up to the third and fourth picks for the basic bitches. Is a Soraka? Yeah, technically would be possible. But just to come back to everything I said about Poppy, I think one of the most obnoxious things that Poppy can do is the ability to stop a gap closer. I just don't. I just think it's a very obnoxious ability. It's also something you always underestimate. I play a lot of ADC myself. You'll play ADC and a Poppy will come at you, and you just expect, oh, I'll just dash away, and before you know it, you can't even dash away anymore, and then you'll just get slowed, and then you'll get knocked up while she waits for a cooldown to just stun you again. Poppy's just super obnoxious. But Soraka Mundo, let's just talk about that. That's actually a very good combination. If you get some good resistances with Mundo, then obviously some health, but then those continuous heals from Soraka, that's going to make Mundo quite a tank, if he ever was one. Now, somewhat relevant, going for hovering Trundle here. The question is, what is Pigs with Bullets going to be playing in that mid lane? We aren't sure, of course, if the mid lane has already been picked by... is it going to be the Heimer? I do think it might probably be, most probably will be the Syndra, actually. And it is going to be that Syndra. Syndra, quite a good pick here, because there isn't a lot of hard CC, and with the Syndra, the only thing you need to do is to just stay mobile, have good positioning, and in that sense, if there are no hooks, no stuns, with Syndra, you can keep moving. I mean, she can be hit by a cleaver, but you can probably stun the follow up if you time it right. And in that sense, yeah, it's still quite a good pick against this team comp. Let's see. So we have got... swapping around a bit. It's going to be that Trundle in the top lane and Poppy in the jungle. And then Corki mid, probably, and Ezreal as the AD carry. Corki's so strong. I think we've seen him what, for 4 or 5 games today. That's extremely strong AD carry at the moment. And I got distracted of because of my second screen. I am going to be talking for another 3 minutes about the comp. Just let me sit back and wait until those 3 minutes are done. Let's take a look at the team comps now. If we look at the team comp for Heimer's kill, they have a very heavy front line, and in that sense, Syndra is actually a good pick. You can keep defending her. You can you can basically, if you've got an Alistar and a Poppy and I mean, just like naming the ones the champs that are in the front line right now. But I mean, you've got an Alistar is pretty much just an immovable object. You can pulverize, you can headbutt people away. But in the same way, Poppy is also very good at just getting people out of the way. I mean, if there ever was a champion, then it's probably Poppy. Being able to smash them all over the map, and in that sense, it's a very nice pick to have a Syndra who just dishes massive amount of damage, and Lucian can just do whatever he wants. On the other hand, I do think the Mundo Soraka is a nice combo. We are also going to see how tanky. We are going to see that blue build Ezreal and how well, obviously how Fetty gets, but they are mainly, I think, going to be focusing on having a poke comp. Because they have the Mundo, they have the Ezreal, they have the Corki, and then they have a Soraka to heal up from their own poke, so from the poke they receive. And in that sense, I do think that they maybe have a comp that they thought about a little bit better, but I don't know if it is the best comp of the two. But especially something, because they do have an Alistar who can keep healing. But if you can wither down a Trundle or a Poppy in that for that matter, it's going to be very hard to have a meaningful fight, as Heimer's kill would look to do. On the other hand, again, when you look at what, for example, it's a poke combo overall, but the Soraka Mundo, that's I think the two champions that probably synergize best. That if you have a situation where Mundo can run in and you can keep healing him, then what you want is you want to have a lot of armor magic resist. You want to have a lot of resistances, because that's going to make the heals much more effective. But then you do have a Trundle on the other side who can make sure you lose what 50% of your armor and magic resist. So it is definitely a comp that is kind of built against each other in a sense. I hope it's not something that goes one way within 50 minutes. I do hope we get to see at least a few team fights, and then we can see who has the better comp. Because if it goes away, if we lose in 15 minutes, then obviously team comps don't really matter, and then it can be both. So that is only 12 seconds before we go into the game. There will be the fourth game of the evening. There I go again. Fourth game, if you don't count all the other matches being played on court 2. There are actually some other matches. If you're interested in seeing what the results were of all the other matches, you can obviously go to our website, www.nsaleague.nl. And yeah, for the rest, I'm looking forward to this one. HiK versus Basic Bitches. And these are two teams I have not seen play yet. So I'm going to be honest, I'm quite excited to see how they do it. And there we are in the loading screen, loading into the game. I'll be right back, 30 seconds, just need to take a sip. And there we are. And this is the first time I think we get to see, at least I get to see, a game who has diamond borders on both sides. So this might actually be a very interesting game. I hope it is. I really, really do hope it is. And just going to be swapping around some champions. We are going to see the fourth match of the evening between HiK and the Basic Bitches. And we're going to see how that is going to turn out. There we go. Everyone swapped around. And, of course, we see the hi mums, the waving to the camera. Hi, mum, I'm on stream. And there we get. There's the first question again. Why the commentary is in English? Now you can find an amazing explanation, of course, on our website. But I think one of the most one of the most important things is that we play with a lot of international students, and everyone likes to hear themselves on stream. Everyone likes to hear themselves being commentated on stream. But in that sense, I think the Dutch education system is very, very capable of teaching you English that is well enough to understand a stream in English. But on the other way around, there are a lot of international students that don't speak any English, any Dutch, so that's why the stream is in English. Also, the first game of the evening was actually in Dutch, and I'm not really happy with how it turned out, because I don't know, I'm having a lot of trouble with doing play-by-play analysis purely in Dutch. It's very it's just very, very hard to try and talk about a game that you hear about in English so much, and then try and do that in Dutch. It's as soon as the heat gets turned on, then it starts getting a little hard. Now, not a lot of action here. Early game, we are going to see the basic starts. Somewhat relevant, taking that golem, and I think if I look at the matchups, that this is probably going to be. These are going to be quite boring matchups, especially the top lane. The top lane is probably going to be the most boring one. But also, I think this bottom lane, unless we see some really nice double knockups by Ali, but for the rest of double knockups by what's his name, Shamrock, I think it's going to be a very passive lane. Now, it's actually, I said this is probably going to be the most boring lane, but Frost Eyes and Zante are actually trading quite heavily there. Does get level 2 first. But I think the mid lane might be the most interesting, because Corky, while he does do a lot of damage, I don't think the Valkyrie is a very reliable dodge for a possible Syndra stun. And I don't know of a lot of matchups that can, at 80% HP, survive a full burst of Syndra. So I do think that if Syndra just waits out the time, doesn't try to trade too many auto attacks, I do think Pigs with Bullets will be able to kill a Chevy around level 6, 7, maybe something like that. Now let's see. So Shamrock just shaking his head there as the big bull. And I'm actually wondering, Poppy did actually go back and bought after those wraiths. Is that right? Yeah, she did. Poppy went back, and Rek'Sai just went back. So